The views and opinions expressed in this video are solely my own. They are not intended to offend, attack, or target any person, group, or organization. This content is for discussion and informational purposes only.
All right, let's talk about this for just a minute. Many of you know I've gotten into the hobby of listening in on ham nets, whether they're weather or traffic or general interest or emergency use, and kind of listening to those various nets. And, you know, in a non-emergency, non-critical moment, they're just kind of checking in with each other, just saying, hey, I'm here. Yeah, I'm going on vacation. I'm doing this. I'm doing that.
Back out to California for a week or two.
Well, what I like to do is when they give out their call sign, I immediately go and search out where are they located, because a lot of times it's not apparent. Sometimes you'll use Maidenhead grid numbers. They don't often. That mostly happens when we're bouncing off of ISS, and they'll use the Maidenhead grid to indicate where they're at. I've talked about that before. Enough about that. What this is really about is when I went to go look for where is this this group of people talking. A few days ago, I was able to find, oh, they're in Ohio. Now I'm down here in Waco, Texas. I was able to listen to a net that was doing Florida, Ohio, Arkansas, Oklahoma. It was kind of interesting. It was a nice large net. So it was the eastern central part of the United States, which is kind of valuable in case there was an emergency. Okay, there wasn't one, but if there were, I know I can tune in on a particular net and kind of figure out what's going on over there. What kind of weather is happening? Okay, so all of that to say, yesterday, which is a couple of days after the government shutdown.
Welcome everybody to day 2 of the Democrat shutdown.
I went to the FCC site, and this is what I saw. Now, this normally would have been where the call sign search engine is, which is basically a front end on a website. You type in the call sign, you hit search, and it looks at the massive database and goes, oh, this is this person's location. But no matter what page now you go to on the FCC website, you get the impact of potential lapse in funding on commission operations. Yeah, every page that I have bookmarked for the FCC doesn't go to that page anymore. It defaults to this page of putting up a warning that they had to shut down. And it's not like they could just simply put that red banner at the top and say, hey, due to, you know, there may be some delays and all that. I would understand that. But why are you going to this notice of shutting everything down when 90% of their website is automated? It doesn't require anybody to necessarily be on it 24/7. It's crazy. What the heck? This really irritates me because it's a passive website, a web page where you type in a piece of information and it automatically goes out to the database and collects information and displays it. It's a no-brainer. There's nobody needs to really do anything with that except for the user, me in this case, type in a thing, get it. I don't need to belabor that. You understand. But for some reason they make it sound like, well, because the government is
shut down,
the FCC's got to shut down and we can't do this, we can't. Of course they can. They're just making a point that FCC funding is being suspended for a period of time because, you know, they can't come to grips with, not FCC, but Congress can't come to grips with whatever they're trying to come to grips with, balancing the budget. It's just absolutely silly. And so FCC is capitalizing on that, which tells me something about the FCC. They're not interested in you and me. They're interested in maintaining their government status or their place in government because it gives them, I don't know, income, probably, which is basically my outgo, my tax money pays for them, yet they're not providing anything to me. Yet they're still going to get paid after this little bit of furlough happens. They're going to get back pay unless the FCC is dismantled, which is interesting, which brings up a point for me. I'm able to find GMRS and ham radio call signs in other ways. There are private organizations that have that database that I can go to without having to go to the FCC. So who needs the FCC? Now, I know there's going to be some arguments and some content in the comment sections about, well, the FCC regulates blah, blah. Really? That's what, like the ARRL, and, you may have your opinions on them, and various other groups that are privately funded or not even funded at all. They volunteer their time to maintain a certain decorum on the airwaves. Do we really need the FCC? It's just a question. Leave a comment down below. Let me know your thoughts. I'm a little perturbed by all of this because something that should be, and I've said it before in this video, but I'll say it again, something that is very passive, that does not need human intervention because the program is set up to automatically do things. That is, the FCC decides to shut that down. They took effort to shut it down prior to the government shutdown and display this, providing me no information whatsoever. I don't need them. I don't need that. I don't need them, who takes my money all the time, all of a sudden hold my interest of the database that they hold hostage for whatever their agenda is, which is basically get some funding so they can turn things back on for me. That seems wrong. Let me know what you think. I want to know what you think. Leave a comment down below. See you on the next one.
See you next time.